Good morning, children. Now, today I will continue the chapter on volcanoes. Yesterday, I taught you about different types of volcanoes. Now, today I'll continue the lesson and teach you effects of volcanoes, which are both constructive and destructive. Now, constructive effects will tell you all the landforms which are formed due to volcanic eruption or by the deposition of the lava from the interior of the earth. So I have posted some pictures, and while I'll show the pictures, I'll explain it to you and you will be able to understand better. So the first landform which you will see is the volcanic plateau. Now this volcanic plateau is formed by the lava which is thrown out from the volcano, and it gets deposited in such a manner that it forms a tableland nearby. And you know what is a plateau? A plateau is a flat tableland. So in this picture you can see that the volcano which had erupted in the past and the lava which got deposited, it formed a plateau. The second picture which you see over here is of a volcanic mountain. Now, whenever we talk about volcanoes, we get the image of a mountain. So this is a volcanic mountain. Now, this is built from the material which is ejected or thrown out from the volcano, from the interior of the earth. And these material, they get deposited at the side of the opening or the vent of the volcano. And due to continuous accumulation, they form a mountain-like structure. The next picture is of a volcanic plain. Now, children, volcanic plains are formed by lava which are very liquid. They don't solidify quickly. So they keep flowing for longer distance. They cover a large area, and layer after layer they get deposited, and then they solidify and they form lava plains. And these lava plains are very rich in iron content because of the iron content present in the lava. The next picture you will see is of a caldera lake. Now, first let me explain you what is a caldera. Now, you know that all the molten material which is thrown out from the volcano, it is thrown out from the mouth or the vent of a volcano. Sometimes the lava is so thick that it solidifies at the mouth or inside the volcano. And due to great force, this lava is thrown out and the vent and the opening is enlarged, and it is called a caldera. Now, caldera normally is found on extinct volcano, and when ice melts or rainfall occurs, this caldera gets filled with water and forms a caldera lake. The next picture is of a hot spring. Now, hot springs actually are, you can say, underground water. That is water which flows under the surface of the earth in the volcanic area. Now, in these areas, the rocks are hot under the earth, and any water which comes in contact with this hot rock, they get warmed up. And when they get warmed up, certain pressure is created and they are forced to move upwards. And wherever they find any crack, this hot water is poured out in the form of hot springs. The next picture is of a geyser. Now you can see that the water which is being ejected is like a fountain. Now this is somewhat similar like a hot spring. The only difference is that in a spring, the water flows out quietly. In a geyser, the water gushes up like a mountain or like a fountain, and it is accompanied by steam. Now, I am posting the text of whatever I have explained to you. Now, you will see that besides the features what has been shown over here, there are some other constructive effects of volcano. They have written here, the lava and ash deposited during an eruption breaks down to provide valuable nutrients for the soil and creates fertile soil which is good for agriculture. So this lava and ash which gets deposited, and when this lava gets cooled, it mixes with the earth and makes a fertile soil. The next point they've written here is the places that have high level of heat due to volcanic activity inside the earth have higher potential for generating geothermal energy. Now this geothermal energy means the energy which is obtained from the interior of the earth, that is in the form of steam or in the form of any gas, and this is utilized to generate electricity. And the last point they have written in constructive influences, the dramatic scenery created by volcanic eruption attracts tourists, which brings in a lot of income to the area. Like many extinct volcanoes in the world, they look very beautiful. So a lot of tourists go all around the world, and people love to click pictures and all that, and it helps in bringing a lot of foreign income. Now children, you will see in your text the destructive effects. The first thing they have written here is that when the volcano erupts, they destroy life and property. The hot lava together with ash and dust destroy not only human beings but also animals as well as plant life. So this point is very easy, that lot of loss of human life and property and soil gets destroyed. The second point is agricultural fields are covered with layers of volcanic ash and dust, making them unsuitable for cultivation. Sometimes they destroy the mineral content of the soil, and that is why they are not suitable for cultivation. Huge clouds. Now this is the third point. Huge clouds are formed after the eruption of volcanoes, causing heavy rains which results in floods and landslides. So simple this is. The fourth destructive effect. Volcanoes emit poisonous gases which harm and pollute the environment and cause lot of health problems like respiratory problem leading to asthma, etc. The fifth point, explosive volcanoes in ocean islands are followed by high tsunami waves. They flood the area and destroy property, people, animal and crops. Now tsunamis, later we will do it in the earthquake chapter, that tsunamis are caused by underground earthquakes and volcanoes of the seabed. So when any volcanic eruption takes place under the sea or any other water body, it causes huge waves of water to rise up, and they affect the adjoining areas because they enter all the coastal areas and they destroy the property and life of the people. Now children, you will see I have put up a picture of the world map, and you will see on the left where North America and South America is given, and on the right hand side where you see Japan and part of Australia and all that. So these are the important volcanic zones of the world. So this will help you to understand which are the areas in the world which are very sensitive and which are very prone to earthquake and volcanoes. So the first volcanic belt is the Circum-Pacific Belt. Now, as the name suggests, Pacific, it means the area around Pacific Ocean. So these volcanoes occur around the Young-Fold Mountains. And the Circum-Pacific Belt is also called the Pacific Ring of Fire. Now this Pacific Belt is called the Ring of Fire because there are so many active volcanoes which keep erupting all the time. And that is why it is called the Ring of Fire. The second belt is the Mid-World Mountain Belt, and which includes Vesuvius, Mount Etna, Stromboli, and the only active volcanoes, some of them are found in the Indian belt also. In Andaman and Nicobar Islands, this belt is also found. So you will see that not much of the volcanic areas take place in the mid-world mountain belt, but yes, these are also prone to volcanic activities. So I am uploading the text of the important volcanic zones of the world. Now you will see there are terms to remember. So you can learn these terms, and below that are some exercises which is given. Now the first one is match the following for you to practice, and in the second one they have written short answer questions. Now this will be like your assignment, and what you can do is find the questions, learn it up. And now children, you go through the lesson and revise it and learn it up. Thank you.